Welcome back, anime fans, to Ghost in the Cloud, your anime podcast. My name is John, and with me, as always, Bridgette.
Hey!
Joining us this week is friend of the podcast, Blake.
I'm like a stain you can't get rid of.
And this week we are talking about March Comes In Like a Lion. But first, let's catch up with Blake.
Well, first, may I say that March is coming out like a lamb, because we were supposed to do this at the beginning of the month. And neither of us
It's fine.
watched the whole show. I only watched the first season.
I'm caught up. It's great.
It's good. What I've been doing since the last episode, I guess last month, I watched 2 anime movies. The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. I think it was produced by Bandai, it was good. It was a nice high school romance story with a bunch of time traveling hijinks. It was pretty cool. And the other one is Your Name, and that is a masterpiece. And I've convinced them to do an episode.
There was not much convincing, trust me.
It's so good.
That is like a critically acclaimed movie.
Yeah,
and it is. Like,
it's
on the list.
amazing. I will be back for that episode.
And you bought it on Blu-ray.
I
which
bought
I'm
it.
really excited for.
That's how much I believe in it. I don't buy anime ever. I bought this DVD, is how much I enjoyed it. I also started watching the first 2 episodes of Dragon Ball Super.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like Japanese Goku.
Yeah, that is one of the handful of shows that I don't like to watch.
It's grating on the ears.
Cowboy Bebop, I think, is one of the other ones.
The English version of Cowboy Bebop, way
good.
better. The English version of Full Metal Alchemist is also, like, super good.
I remember watching it in English.
Vic Mignogna does good work. Here we are with March Comes In Like a Lion.
Let's get into it. Spoiler warning, as the show is currently still ongoing. It is in its 2nd season.
But we're actually only talking about season 1 today, so
yes.
You're good.
So
Mostly
March...
because I'm lazy.
Because I couldn't keep up.
March Comes In Like a Lion is an ongoing manga series by Chika Umino that began serialization in 2007. An anime television series adaptation began airing on October 8th, 2016, and is currently in its 2nd season. In addition to the anime and manga, the license has also spawned a live-action film.
Oh, really?
Riveting.
Very true. It's a 2-parter.
I had no idea.
Actually, I did not know. They must still be working on it, because I don't think that's been released.
This might be
still
really
a new show, so
I would actually see that movie. I think it would translate well to live action, because they don't have to do a bunch of like crazy CG for it.
Right.
Like it's people playing shogi.
It's just you got to find a good dramatic actor, I guess, right?
You have to have someone who's really good with expressions, because most of this is just all visual. There's not a lot of dialogue in most of the show.
Get prepared, guys. This show's sad.
It brings the feels.
It starts real sad. Like, I remember, like, two or so months ago when Bridgette said, hey, you want to watch this anime for the podcast? I was like, sure. I don't have a weekend to do anything. Let's do it. And I ate through the first 6 or 7 episodes, and I came to work the next day, and I was like, Bridgette, that really gave me a case of the feelings, and how dare you do this to me. I was incredibly upset.
Sorry.
like this main character is so depressed. Like that's one of the major things I want to talk about in this episode, is just like how Ray deals with depression.
All right.
And how he doesn't deal with his depression.
Yeah.
Well, before we dive in, let's recap for anybody who hasn't watched it in a while or hasn't seen it yet.
Does anybody miss feeling sad? Like, life is just going too good. It's just too sunny.
Yeah.
Don't you miss that empty feeling, that hollow shell, just bitter and loneliness? Well, we found the answer for you. It is March Comes In Like a Lion. Take it away, John.
You ever hit your toe on the dresser and be like, I want to do that again?
All right. Well, the series is set in Tokyo, following the everyday life of 17-year-old professional shogi player. Shogi player.
Yep.
Ray. Currently living by himself, he's estranged from his family and has scarcely any friends. Among his acquaintances is a family which consists of a young woman, Akari Kawamoto and her younger sisters Hinata and Momo,
Awesome.
who also apparently keep several cats. That was a description I pulled from the internet. As the story progresses,
No, it's
Ray
true.
deals
Bridgette did
with
not
his
put it there.
maturing as a player and as a person, while developing his relationships with others, especially the Kawamoto sisters.
And the cats get a lot of screen time for
Oh my
those
God.
cat fans out there.
So, yeah, that's basically the long and short of it, is Ray Kiriyama. He's a professional shogi player. Do they say where in Japan he lives?
They do mention it.
It's set in Tokyo.
Okay, where in Tokyo? It's a
I
big
don't know.
place.
It's I know he chose a place near the water because he likes walking over the bridge each day,
All right.
looking over the water.
If we cared enough, we would look it up, but I guess we don't. So he lives in the city. You don't find this out later until I think the beginning of season 2. But he left because his family isn't even
adopted
his
family.
real family. It's his adopted family. And
He's got a rough background story.
if you ever thought that you were like the kid in your family that got the most attention because you didn't make trouble or because you were the most skilled, imagine if you were adopted into a family and your brother and sister hate you because their biological father, spends all his time with you, and only because you're better at shogi than the other kids.
Yeah, this guy lived for shogi. He
Yeah.
wanted his kids to all be professional shogi players, and he literally adopted Ray because he said he liked shogi, which he actually didn't.
Do we know how important shogi is in the culture?
In the culture of Japan, I think
it's more for the older crowd. Like, most of the people that enjoy it as a pastime are older, like grandfather age, which I feel like is the
I
same
don't know.
for chess.
Well,
I
in the
think
But
Western,
there's
then
actually
they have
I
a
think-
cult following of people who make a career
well,
out of
because
it.
in the Western culture, chess, its Western
they're-
equivalent, I guess. They have tournaments, they have professionals. I guess
think
they show
shogi-
that level.
I think shogi is actually popular. I think it is actually rather popular because these people apparently they make enough money to live by themselves in the city. Like Ray plays, so like the way you make money as a shogi player is you have a set amount of matches each month, and like you have to attend those matches, and if you win, then you make money.
Mhm.
If you don't, I think you make less money.
So then these are like broadcast or somehow.
Yes, especially the major tournaments, they are broadcast.
I might add, just to put it in perspective, Ray's high school teacher mentioned that Ray makes more than him.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing.
He makes more than his teacher.
Right.
And he just continued high school just because he wasn't sure if he wanted to completely invest in shogi or if he wanted to leave himself an outlet.
So
in the
it's
future.
like athlete level,
Like football
like the
in the
really
United
good
States.
players make a
Mhm.
lot of money.
Right.
So
Right.
in this instance,
like football players here, you have shogi players there.
So like there's different ranks and you have to work your way up through the ranks. Like I think when we first come into the show, Ray is 8th dan. He's in either an 8th dan or a 6th dan.
Okay, yeah, so they have like a hierarchy of
Yeah, there's
ability, and
there's
they rate them
yeah.
by dan. They call them dan.
And he's a genius shogi player. Like he like climbs through the ranks quickly. He's very young. He's labeled this genius and
Prodigy, yeah.
this prodigy. And they say in the shogi hall where he competes that like most prodigies his age end up becoming masters, and that's a lot of pressure for how old is he? Like 16?
Not even. He just started high school.
Right. So like kid's living on his own. His adoptive siblings hate him. He thinks he isn't worth his family's love. His father's love. So he lives separate from them because he's trying to be independent and to grow up too quickly, which I think we've all been there before.
Yeah.
And
he lives like an adult. Okay.
time out.
If you hear banging in the background, one of my cats is literally throwing herself at the door.
Yeah, can you take?
I'm on it.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
Alright.
Cut this out. Quit your shit.
It's TME. I have catnip. I have a lot of catnip.
Might as well pause the recording.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just leave it in.
Okay.
Me yelling quit your shit. And talking about saying
Yeah.
and this.
So what color is your Kung Fu uniform?
It starts off white, then it goes to white shirt with black pants, then it goes to black shirt with black pants.
Oh, okay. Because we're changing our uniform color. All right.
Sorry. I drugged them with catnip.
All right. Where were we?
Catnip, so he makes a lot of money.
Yes.
And it's just from playing games. But he lives like an adult. Like, he literally lives in a flat overlooking the water.
He's 17 years old.
by
He's
himself.
capable of living on his own.
Oh, he is 17?
Yep, 17.
That's crazy. I guess their school system's a little different. Way different.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like their high school is our college. I mean, they have to pick
I don't
out.
know.
They get to pick out their high school
I'd have to
and
look.
take entrance exams just like college. But they,
Oh, yeah.
but in
Yeah.
translation, they call them high school. So, but yeah, he lives alone. Like, empty refrigerator with, like,
Oh, yeah.
a
You
loaf of bread in
you
there.
see his empty flat. All he has is a sleeping mat, a shogi board, minor kitchen necessities, and you just see empty udon noodle bowl, like microwave noodle bowls and water bottles just strewn out. He has an awful diet.
So he's a relatable
innards of
character.
his-
Oh, he's very relatable.
Yeah.
But is he a likable character?
You know what? You don't really get to see his true personality. He's
Yeah.
just like a shell of a person. I mean, the description of his apartment is like his soul.
He's just an empty
hollow,
person.
alone, and we didn't even mention it, but his original family, he had a sibling, he had parents. They all died in a car accident.
Right.
Came home from a school trip and then were gone.
Right.
It
And
was
then
awful.
his dad's best friend, who was also a shogi player, adopted him.
Like, he was sitting at the funeral for his family, hearing his aunt, his mother's sister say, "Oh, I don't want to take him in. Maybe we'll ship him off to a foster care or something."
Right, yeah.
And then his dad's friend comes up and says, "You like shogi?" And then he's like, "I know what to say. Yes."
Mhm.
Even though he never liked it, it was
only
only a
did it-
pastime to spend time with his dad.
Yeah.
He never really actually liked it. He just liked the quality time with his father. But father's friend says, "Hey, you like shogi?" You say yes. And he
Mhm.
adopted him because of that.
But,
so survival.
You can clearly see the state of depression and loneliness that, like, eats away at him, like, every episode. Because, like, in the one ray of light is this family, these three girls, Akari, Hinata, and Momo, and like Akari finds him on the side of the road because she has a second job as a hostess, which in Japan, like, they have like, when you go to a bar, they'll have like a pretty waitress or something sit with you, prepare
make you drinks,
make food for you,
Specifically for that person?
Yeah, for that
for that group.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, like, they're very in tune to whatever you need. I'm sure in some seedier bits of Japan, it's a little more
servicing,
grimy.
Yeah.
But no, she's a respectable lady. She wears a nice dress.
She works for her aunt.
She's beautiful. She works for her aunt, and like all these men like go crazy for her because like she's great at what she does, and she's a strong lady, but she loves strays. She picks up strays.
That's why she has cats.
That's why she has all the animals that she does. She has like this giant owl too.
It was really funny. Her two younger sisters, the reaction, like, our sister really likes strays and she brings home random animals to take care of. We were really surprised when she brought home a person.
Oh yeah. So like she finds him, like he got pressured by his elder classmen.
Yeah, he got beat up outside.
No, he was drunk. They took him to the bar.
Oh, you know what?
No, they made him drink. They pressured him into drinking.
He was drunk, yeah.
Yeah, they pressured him into drinking, and
I'm thinking
being
of
how
scene
young
of the show.
Being how young he was, I remember this.
Yeah.
It stuck out with me. But like he's so young, and he shouldn't have been drinking because legally he shouldn't have been.
Mm.
But drinking culture is different in Japan. Like you're supposed to be drunk when you go out because you're supposed to be more fun. It's different, and I don't have the time to explain it.
Yeah, but there's a lot of drinking among.
But there is an age
businessmen
limit
in Japan.
Yeah, there is an age limit. So, like, he's so socially awkward and he's so desperate for any kind of human interaction that he fell through with it. Like, the same way any kid that age gets pressured into doing things they don't really want to do. So, like, he was at the bar that Akari was working at, and then she finds him, like, he threw up in the street, he's passed out, like, he could have died.
Yeah.
Like, he was that
He was just left there.
worse off. She brought him home, asked nothing of him, fed him, bathed him, made him throw up more to get the poison out of him, like, took care of him. And ever since then, her and her sisters will, like, message him going, like, hey, we're making dinner, come over.
Yeah.
Which reminds me a lot of Bridgette, because she taught me how to, a month ago, I had to put myself on a budget because I was not spending my money correctly, and she feeds me, and she helps out, and I get to be part of this podcast, and I'm very grateful for it.
Huzzah.
Thank you, guys.
And don't you forget it.
I won't forget it.
I'm telling you, fried rice, the greatest thing on earth.
Hey, fried rice is great. I tried to make it on my own, couldn't do it.
It's
but
the consistency of the rice is
practice makes
key.
perfect.
Yeah, but like I really identify to this guy because I do a lot of the tendencies he does. When I'm home, I hide away in my room. I don't talk to anyone. I don't go out. When I do go out, it's usually just for a few things. I've gotten better over the years, but there was a point where I wouldn't talk to anyone. I was so awkward. I didn't want to bother anybody, and it would have to be my friends who would be like, hey, get in, loser, we're going out doing things. And I don't want to hear no for an answer to make me do things. And I've been to that level of depression, but not to the point where I was living on my own. I really connected to him. He's sad, but he has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot good in him.
You mentioned that he makes quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he lives very low key.
He lives in the city. Imagine living in New York City, how expensive it is.
Yeah.
For the flat that he has in wherever he is in Tokyo, it probably takes all of his money for food expenses and rent, necessities, and that's about it. Like, he doesn't really go out and do anything. He doesn't spruce up the place. He saves his money like a miser because that's probably all he has to live on.
I wonder if he did have the money to really feed himself better and he just didn't care because of the depression.
Yeah, that happens a lot. There's a bunch of people who just like live on basic stuff because they don't care.
Yeah, plus he's just also a natural introvert, so being depressed and closed in and really just closes his heart off to other people. And on top of that, being an introvert, just being a very quiet person, he was really fortunate to come across Sakari because to have somebody that's really outgoing to literally pull you out of your shell like that. Like, I used to be literal mute. Like, when I started college, like, I didn't talk to anybody. It was so quiet. And then I came across my college friends. And, like, literally the first day I met my friend John, he said, I'm kidnapping you. Threw me over his shoulder. And they started marching away with, like, a couple other people I met that day. And to this day, still friends with those people. And, just very outgoing, not shy, doesn't care what other people think, just true to oneself kind of person. And it was those heroes. Friends that like got me out of my shell. I was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm shy for. These people, they like the same things I do. Like, I shouldn't be quiet about that. And so I have those friends to thank for being more outgoing. Just like you have your friends to say, come on, let's get out, let's do something. So and it's the same thing happens with Ray, where he starts out really quiet and he kind of feels like he's imposing on them. He doesn't want to bother them. And slowly over time, he's like, no, this is okay. I can go and see them. They actually
he relies on them
me.
more. They get offended one episode because he finds them. You're right. He finds them in the shopping mart, and they're man. I guess he likes instant noodles way more than our cooking, sis. And like they're all upset, and he's in the background going like, no, it's That's delicious. That's not it at all. Please don't leave me. Like it's really sad, but it's funny. And then he has this other friend, and I say friend in quotation marks, with Harunobu Nikaido, who shows up...
He calls him like his nemesis, right? Not nemesis, but his
rival.
His rival, yeah.
Which is a very Japanese thing to do.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a very anime thing.
It's a very anime thing to do. So, like, Harunobu, like, shows up in, like, episode 3, because
he... first scene of the show.
No, it was like, the 3rd episode.
Really? Oh, yeah. Man, it's all blur.
He shows up, because he opened Ray's mail promo saying that Rei was being promoted and his next title match was against Harunobu. And they've known each other for years because they fought in a kids' shogi tournament. And ever since that day, Harunobu claimed that Rei was his rival and that they would become great friends by pushing each other to the limits. Kind of like a Vegeta Goku kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which you haven't met Vegeta yet.
Oh, but he literally just, he doesn't even question. He said, we're friends.
We're friends.
And we're rivals. And Rei would be like, we're not.
No, we're not
friends.
Get out of my...
We're really not friends.
Don't open my mail.
Why are you in my bathroom?
What?
Yeah.
There's an episode where he shows up to his apartment and buys him a bed. Because he only had,
rich.
like, the basic mat. That's the other thing, is Harunobu is very rich, but he's also very sick.
Yeah.
Like, I think he has, like, a failing liver. You find out in this episode that, like, his family sent his manservant, his butler, off on vacation, but his butler is so devoted to him and loves this kid so much, he's so devoted to his health, that while he was on the vacation, he couldn't relax. He was on a cruise, and he was just shaking in fear because his master was sick, and no one could take care of him the same way that he could. Yeah. So, like, he gave the rest of his vacation to Nikaido's mother, and he showed up.
That's right.
Also in that episode, Harunobu was like, oh wow, how did you even know I was here? And then, like, in the show likes to put text bubbles in the air of, like, explaining certain things, and it shows the butler has a secret GPS on Harunobu to find him.
He's like, oh, I just happened to be in the area.
Oh, I just happened to be in the area. I was like, no, he has GPS, he stalks him.
Yeah, he does. But yeah, you know, for a wealthy upbringing, he is a really kind, down-to-earth person. And he actually has an illustrated book, which I actually am a big fan of him because
he's very talented.
And I love Momo's reaction to him.
Oh yeah, the second that the littlest Kawamoto, Momo, like, he's fat. Because, like, he doesn't get to exercise because of his illness.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, Totoro!
Their version of Totoro, basically.
Yeah, it's their parody of Totoro, because they can't say Totoro, so she calls him Botoro. Akari apparently likes fluffy things, which includes fat people, I guess.
She fattened up her cats.
Oh my god.
Her cats are fat.
She goes, like, crazy over this guy. Like, to the point where, like, Rei is, like all heartbroken.
And not, like, in a romantic way, either. It was, like...
Are you sure?
I don't think so.
I think so. I think Akari's all about Harunobu.
That would be really
I think
funny.
she's all about the chubby guy. Because she likes fluffy things.
She's trying to fluff him up, though.
Yeah.
She's trying to fluff up Rei.
Hey guys, everyone has a type.
She likes fluffy.
She likes fluffy.
Oh man.
Nothing wrong with that.
So, I feel like there needs to be an actual hard copy of Nikaido's illustrated book. He makes a kid-friendly introduction and explanation of Shogi. It's with cats.
Yes.
Cats.
You can see how much this character loves Shogi, in contrast to Rei, who only sees it as a means to an end. He only really plays it because he hates losing. Like, and he's put so much effort.
Way to live, really.
It's his way to live,
pays the bills.
And he hates to lose. It's like the one, I think that's because it's like the one thing in his life that he feels that he's good at and that he can control. And when you're as depressed as he is and you feel like you can't control anything, you latch onto the one thing you feel you can control, that you're good at. Anything that contradicts that is devastating.
Yeah.
Like, he loses 2 matches in a row in season 1, I think. Destroys him mentally. He
questions everything.
He questions his whole life. He can't, which is, like, super serious, because even his adopted father would get into depressed moods because of losses. Because in this world of professional shogi, that many losses, once you start going down the ranks, it's so much harder to get back up the ranks. Losing too many matches can be a death knell. Trying to keep your rank and progress is incredibly hard. We actually just played a game, which there will be a video of it.
Yeah, so it's going up on YouTube, and we played a match. It went for over an hour.
I hate it.
And I actually enjoyed it. I mean, like, I've been playing chess. My grandfather taught me when I was pretty young, like elementary school, it wasn't much different. And I actually like it better than chess because you have more options. You get promotions, get to use the pieces that you capture. So a lot more involved.
I wanted to put a gun in my mouth. I hated it. It was like, I'm not good at chess, and I'm so not good at shogi.
And we didn't actually finish. Blake conceded.
I gave up. We have things to do.
I mean, one thing that we saw in this show is that some shogi players, their failure is their stamina, that they get tired and they're out of focus. They don't focus on what they're playing, and then they lose because they couldn't keep up physically. And Nikaido had that problem. You know, he passed out before the end of the match.
He almost passed out. Yeah.
So, and there's another player that comes into in season 2 who's like a big brother to Nikaido. He's just, his health is also on the fritz. But for Kei, he has the focus, and he has like a good head on his shoulders, even though he hates every second of it.
You also find out that like Kawamoto family, they aren't fully sunshine and happy all the time either.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was their mother and father died.
You know what? Their parents died, but their grandfather's still around.
Right. Their parents died. Their grandmother died a while ago, and their grandfather takes care of them.
Yeah, and they all live together in a very small space.
Right.
Like the bathrooms and the kitchen kind of space.
Yeah, they have a very small house, but it's warm and cozy.
Yeah, it's like the family, like cozy, homey feeling.
Mm-hmm. So. But like, there's a point where some of that family still aren't over the deaths of their parents. You see this moment where with Hinata, where she won't cry in front of anyone else. So like, she goes off to the bridge and she just loses it. And Rei's there and consoles her, and like, they share that moment.
They have definitely have like some kind of bonds that's growing, and like over season 2, like you can see that they have they kind of click together, which is nice. Yeah. It becomes part of the family.
You find out that Rei gave up crying a long time ago when his parents died, because at some point he decided there was no point in it anymore, that it didn't serve any purpose.
Yeah.
So like, he doesn't cry, which is a way to, take care of your emotions. It's okay to cry. It's okay to like let that stuff out. I don't know how this kid hasn't, and I don't say this to be jokingly, I say it seriously. I'm surprised he has, like, or at least in my bit of the show, he hasn't considered killing himself. Like, because that's a thought that people have in that situation. It's great that he doesn't. It's great that he still finds the strength to like pull himself from underwater. And it's great that he starts to learn, open up and be with these people that help take care of him.
Yeah.
And friends that try to be in his life and try to push him forward. There's some dark moments that he gets to.
Like, he's been really like alone since, I guess he was in elementary school when he lost his family, and then he really was still alone when he was living with the adopted family, because it was just about survival. He didn't really feel connected to these people, and he doesn't really even keep in touch with them. Once in a blue moon, his stepfather will call him, see how he's doing, but it's not like that to him. It's really like, I'm caught up on the show, and I want to say more, but I won't. But it's really great to see how this family, the Kawamoto family, changes Rei as a character. He really changes so much between the beginning of the show and where he is caught up on at the end of season 2, where very slowly he starts to like thaw out, like his cold frozen heart. He's not as robotic anymore, and he actually starts to give back a little bit, because they're a regular family too, and they have regular problems. And I like how they keep this show. It's very slice of life, realistic, everyday problems. Like they do focus in season 2 on Hinata getting picked on at school, like things like that. And Rei is there as a friend, and even is a key figure for Hinata to overcome and get through being alone, being picked on.
So as she constantly tells me, it gets better. No, relax. It's not that sad. It's gonna get better.
It does get better. Like, because Rei isn't alone anymore. As soon as he realizes, this family actually wants me around. This family actually, they don't need me, but it's not about needing. It's about camaraderie and family and friendship, and even if I can't give back to them now, it's just about caring for other people. And, you know, it's not about expecting something of that person.
And
So,
I've been there.
yeah.
I kind of still am there. I still constantly think that, like, the friends I have, they're only there temporarily. Like, I constantly am worried that, like, people are just humoring me, or they're just being polite, and they don't actually just want to say, like, no, we don't want to be around you. Like, that's something that I have to constantly tell myself, no, these are your friends, you don't have to think that way. That's not healthy. You're talking yourself out of having great connections because you're scared. Like, that's something I deal with every day.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's something that Ray did too.
Like, something you might notice, like, every day, anytime I ask you to, like, pass over a barcode, and I know you're joking.
It's a piece of paper with a barcode on it. It's
like,
work-related.
Yeah, it's work-related. But, like, every time I ask you to pass me something from the printer, and, like, you pretend to not look at me, and I know you're joking, or you, like, shake your head.
You, like, look up at the ceiling and, like, start whistling.
You shake your head, and, like, I know you're joking, but part of me just feels like, oh my god, I'm bothering her. Oh my god, she hates me.
Even though I literally made him a sign.
Yeah, she made me a sign.
That says barcode, please.
Yeah. But, like,
I took a piece of paper, I wrote it, and I taped it to a pen, and it's official sign because I have like fenders on, like whenever I'm working and I have a lot of shit to get done. I don't hear certain things,
and
but I see him waving the sign that I made, and it helps me.
But I feel so bad
but
to where I won't use it, and I'll get up and get it myself.
And I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
And then she gets mad at me when she starts messing with me.
So I'm like, Hikari, like, what are you doing? Like I could have just handed this to you.
My anxiety just kicks in so bad. And I just feel like a terrible person every time she starts messing with me. And, like, so yeah.
I feel so happy, warm and fuzzy.
I get him. I get Ray a lot. I understand him on a deep level. So yeah.
I like how they have foodie moments. There are sometimes when Ray has extra food that's just given to him. Mm-hmm. I think this is more in season 2, but it's not important. And he will be like, okay, I have extra. I'm going to give it to the Kawamotos. And Hikari's like, oh my god, I can make this with it. I'm going to make this.
Fish.
I'm going to make this. And
yeah.
Okay, there's other moments with I think like oranges or something in season 2. But he brings over a big bag of fish because one of the other shogi players likes a fish. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what am I going to do with this?
Well, he specifically said to bring it to them. The head of the shogi club. And on the train ride there, he's thinking to himself, oh, what if she thinks that I'm demanding her to cook for me? What if she thinks that I'm
condescending and I'm saying you can't afford food? Or
like, what? And then she gets it and she's ecstatic.
Yeah.
Like, she's so happy because it's actually, like, money that she didn't have to spend on food.
Yeah, she's like I'm going to make sushi, I'm going to make fish and chips, and I'm going to make this. And she was like, oh my god.
Like, she starts dancing around in that anime way that they do, or, like, you know... it's just really funny.
We know.
There's hearts flying around in the background. You know what it's like.
I love the art style of this show. It is very different from your average. It looks like watercolor painting.
There are times I like it, and there are times where I don't.
It's very different from what
jarring.
You were
it's a little jarring when you first watch it, because the second I saw the way that their mouths were drawn, especially when closed, I was like, oh, this is weird.
The first time I saw it, it took some getting used to, especially with their eyes. Their eyes aren't really solid. Their pupils are just like wishy-washy watercolor.
Yeah.
And like if you were to reflect like a circle in the water, it's just not quite in focus, not quite round. That's what everything is drawn like. But me being an artist, and I do love watercolors, I do love the style after I got used to it. And I find it very peaceful. It goes with like the slow pace, the slow calming, like I feel like it just meshes well together with this heartwarming, like family, just sense of belonging. Like I feel like the watercolor style.
It's not the family you're born with, it's the family you choose.
Yeah, exactly.
Mic drop.
Boom.
No, that's expensive.
I mean, that's really what our closest friends are. They're the family that we choose to have. Mm-hmm. Not that, our actual family isn't our family, but the people that we spend the most time with is really, the people
I don't mean to get extraordinarily sidetracked, but based on, following up on what you guys just said, there is an episode of the show How I Met Your Mother where
non-anime
Lily says to Ted, who's dating this random girl that we eventually never see again, she's not someone I see. She's not going to pass the front porch test.
Yes. Okay.
And what that is essentially, Lily says, Ted, we are friends for life. When we are 60, we're going to be sitting on the front porch together, and this girl is not going to be there, and I know it for a fact. She is not going to be there because I know you to a T. And, like, the idea that Blake would just said, it's not the family you're born with, but the family you choose. It's that. The people you want to, you want to grow old with, you want there for the really important things. Maybe that is family, maybe it isn't, but it's the people you choose.
Maybe some people start off that way and people change. Yeah. And people's lives bring them in different directions. And what may have been a porch friend or pass the porch test for most of your life may not pass it at the end. That's okay.
Like they have a crazy jealous girlfriend that forbids them from talking to female friends.
Oof. That sounds personal.
Or just, people just get absorbed in their own lives. Like, one friend is a single mom, doesn't have time to socialize. And
oh my god, you guys can't see their faces.
Well, anyway.
I you know what? I more have an issue with friends that drift apart than anything else. Like, I feel like I've had a lot of really good, like, front porch friends over the years, and then one gets hitched and moves to New Jersey and becomes crazy, and then the other one
hopefully they're not listening.
Shit happens.
Delicate, Bridgette, very delicate.
Just like some people you feel like maybe you didn't know them as well as you thought.
Yeah.
You see more layers over the years, and
ogres have layers.
Yeah, they're like onions.
We are getting really sidetracked.
Yeah. Not really. We're talking about the people in our lives, I guess. But I guess more personal, though.
As a show, it's not fast. It is slow paced. It is methodical. It is designed to make you feel feelings, whether those be good feelings, whether those be bad feelings, whether those be indifferent. It varies on the episode.
Yeah.
But this isn't Dragon Ball. This isn't a shonen. It seems more shoujo. Honestly,
yeah, because shoujo's more about the developing of the characters.
Like if you were trying to watch this show for action and excitement, it's not that show.
There are no action scenes.
It is a show for thinking. It is a show for developing. It is a show for understanding the human condition and depression and how one might be able to combat it and open up to people, which is very hard.
Yeah.
People fight that fight every day, and it can get hard.
It is a great show.
It's very good.
You can't watch too many episodes in one sitting.
Or you will get depressed.
Because it really makes you feel. It makes you really reflect on yourself, and I think that's a good thing that the show really makes you think on that level. It's really deep. So be emotionally prepared before you watch it.
I want to say this: if you feel like you're like Ray, if you feel that depressed, if you feel like you can't get out from under it, seek help, find a therapist, do something.
Not everybody has
that's true.
Don't
a Kawamoto family to help pick you up.
Sometimes you have to go do it yourself. I know I've been looking for a therapist. I don't know how my health insurance works yet because it's my first time paying for it myself, so I have to figure that out. But I've considered and I've thought about trying to find help. It'll be hard, but from everything I've heard from people in other podcasts that have done the same thing, that they say that it's changed so much about them. Get help. Don't feel stigmatized about it. Mental health is a real issue, and it can destroy you or it can make you stronger. Don't let people say that, like, oh, you went to a therapist, are you crazy? Like, don't let them, even let them in your life. Like, do what you need to do to make yourself a better person.
Cut out the negative.
Be positive, like blood. It's there for you.
Oh, I know my blood type now. Well, wait. Okay, it's a Japanese culture thing. I need to share this. I've been wondering for a long time what my blood type is, and my mom didn't know. I didn't know, until recently. I wasn't even able to give blood. I have very thin blood, or I didn't weigh enough when I was younger, and now I can, and I haven't.
This is off topic.
Very off topic, but my mom
very
was
personal.
No, it's just blood type. It's not that personal.
If any vampires out there listening are getting very excited, relax.
It's like astrological signs in Japan. They're
very into it.
Yeah, they're very into blood types in Japan.
I think we talked about this in My Hero Academia with Hero Killer Stain.
They have fortunes based on blood type in Japan. It's a thing there. So my mom was cleaning out one of her closets and went through like, oh, these are like the important documents. Oh, here's the birth certificate. Oh, it's on the birth certificate. And my mom knew what I was asking. I'm A positive.
Congratulations. Yep. A plus.
A plus, guys. And I have no idea if that means. It means absolutely nothing to me.
It doesn't mean anything.
Except that if anyone has A positive, needs some blood, I'm here.
Go to a
you
blood
get hit
bank.
by a vampire, you need some help, I got you back. So.
If Hero Killer Stain is on the hunt for you,
yeah.
I don't know how well you'll survive because I don't remember the time limits.
We gotta cut this.
All right.
No, we're not. John added a fun fact in here. The manga was actually commentary by a professional shogi player, Wanabu Senzaki. Why are you shaking? Okay.
Why are you shaking your head?
That threw me off.
Yeah, Manabu Senzaki on Shogi Rules and Culture.
So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so this show is on Crunchyroll. As far as streaming services go, I think that's the only place you're going to find it.
You can also find it on Verve, probably. VRV. Like, they have a lot of
Yeah, but that's part of Crunchyroll, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's owned by Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
So
Crunchyroll and Funimation.
Did we
sure did.
In the beginning?
March. Oh, maybe I didn't. No, I did not.
Oh.
But also Crunchyroll also just added English dub as well as the Japanese dub. But you said you listened to it and it was like meh.
Yeah,
stick to Japanese.
The English version left a lot to be desired. I liked Ray's voice actor, but I remember the episode I was watching, had his adoptive sister in it, and her voice actor, I was like,
yeah, meh.
I was not for it.
Alright, 2 things I forgot. 1, word of the week is March, as in the month, which is Koshin. And then 2, the cats that are the shogi teachers.
The shogi cats.
In the book that Nakaido makes, they do like a little dance at one of the ending songs of the show.
Uh-huh.
It was
music and everything.
It was great.
I wanted to learn it for the Shogi video, but I didn't.
That's right. You remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
It wasn't even my idea. It was Blake's idea to learn the cat dance.
Shogi.
Yeah, that's the only word we knew. Shogi.
I was going to try to get Bridgette to sing it, and the look of fear that she gave me was amazing.
It was still a good idea.
We didn't do it.
We did not do it. So, guys, if you haven't already checked it out, we did make a YouTube video. It should be up by now. I hope to release it the same day as this episode, where we actually play Shogi, and I won. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, because
because I had the endurance. For future Shogi masters, you gotta build up your endurance to beat the game. It is a long game.
You won by my indifference.
Yeah, you're just like, I don't even care anymore. You literally said that.
I don't even care anymore. I'm bored.
Care. I'm done.
I hate Shogi.
I hate this. You banged your head on the table. Alright, guys, that is Goes to Cloud, your anime podcast, and
I think that was the most John ever spoken in a video.
Don't forget though. Wait, what?
Don't worry about it.
No, okay.
I feel bad for John. He hasn't said anything. He's barely said anything this whole episode.
It's
mostly been us for like 40 minutes.
Please? Alright, guys.
He's abstinent. I think he's doing it out of spite now.
Yeah, he is. I can see that smirk on his face. So don't forget, you can email us at gitcanime@gmail.com. Our episodes will always be up on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. We have our social media. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then we have everything on our website at gitcanime.com.
You can also find me on Instagram. I just made an Instagram thing.
That's right, I'm following you.
Peerpressured.jpg.
Yeah.
Very appropriate.
Yeah.
Like,
So if you want to get in contact with me, I don't know why.
just in case. And don't forget, if you want to support our podcast, please rate and review. It's the best way, especially on iTunes, to rate and review, and that will help get our podcast out there. And then please check out our Patreon account. You can help keep the lights on, basically. But there's always some awesome perks on there. And then thank you to Anthony for our awesome intro tune.
Thank you to Blake for joining us this evening.
You're welcome.
John spoke.
I'm just silently cursing the editing process of this.
Literally, I know that's what's going through your mind right now. You're watching
the
timer going,
you
and you're
hate
seeing
it
the
when we
minutes
have fun.
add on.
You're an enemy of fun, John.
It's not true.
So, listeners, John is the one who
deny
edits
it.
her episodes, and he dreads the long ones.
Good night. Good night.
Oh, he edits all of it.
Bye.
Bye. No.